Happy Wednesday and welcome to Dre's Take. I want to give a huge shout out to the folks that packed the room for the Help CDC Homebuyer Workshop this past Saturday. It was an honor to share my transaction knowledge with folks who are ready to make homeownership a reality. Help CDC runs these classes monthly, so if you know someone who could benefit, feel free to reach out and I'll be happy to connect you with one of the housing counselors for a future event. Now let's talk macro. All eyes were on the Federal Reserve today. As expected under new Fed Chair Kevin Warsh, they held rates steady. But the real story isn't today's decision, it's what comes next. Thanks to the war in the Middle East and the subsequent rising gas prices and stubborn inflation, the Fed's bias towards easing is fading. While today's consensus was to hold tight, a few committee members are actually hinting toward future rate hikes. The dot plot, where members anonymously predict where they expect rates to go, showed a median rate expectation by end of the year at 3.8%, suggesting at least one rate hike before the year's end and pushing any potential for rate cuts into 2027. So here's Dre's take. If the current peace talks in Iran actually come to fruition and oil starts flowing again, gas prices could come down and help tame inflation, at least enough to allow the Fed to hold steady. At least that's my hope. However, the president's comments today at the G7 summit are certainly not very reassuring, suggesting that bombing could resume if he's not happy with the peace agreement that's due to be signed on Friday. I expect the 10-year Treasury note to continue to hover around 4.5% and subsequently mortgage rates to stay in the mid-sixes. Locally, pending sales are creeping up while new listings are down, putting pressure on inventory, which should protect home prices from falling very much, if at all. If you want to map out a personal strategy for this market, feel free to tap in. I'm always happy to help. And until next week, that's Dre's Take. All right, y'all. Take care.